Hi fans, it's Yankee Fred coming from a secure location outside Yankee Stadium. And just a quick thing, I got my regular Yankee hat on today with my Ron Guidry pin. And then a flash, just before we're doing this location recording here, I just heard that Jabari Blash, who the Yankees got in the Chase Headley deal from the Padres, the Yankees just sent him to the California Angels for a player to be named later and cash considerations. But the bigger trade that just happened just a day or so ago is Brandon Drury. Now, Brandon Drury is with the Diamondbacks, and it was a three-way deal with the Tampa Bay Rays, the Diamondbacks, and the Yankees. Yankees gave up Nick Solak, which I was going to talk about today. He's high on the list of Yankee prospects. But this Brandon Drury, the more I studied him, second base, third base, very good fielder. Some people call him a young Scott Brocious. Imagine if he could turn out like that. But he's insurance, and that's why the Yankees made the deal. Now I got to talk about the coaching staff. It's finally been pretty much settled here. The bench coach is Josh Bard, who is a catcher with the Yankee system. Hitting coach is Marcus Thames. Marcus is then elevated now to the number one pitching coach, and the assistant pitching coach is PJ Pelletier, who was in the Yankee system for years, and he's been the hitting coach for these young guys at the minor league level. So I think the Yankees said, you know what, let's bring up a guy that they're familiar with, and he's very pro-Yankees, and he loves all these great young players. The pitching coach is Larry Rothschild, who has been with the Yankees even through the Girardi years. And the first base coach, Reggie Willits, a very good outfielder in the California Angels system. The third base coach, I was wondering why they chose Phil Nevin. He's a good ball player. Turns out Nevin and the Boone family lived close to each other and knew each other and grew up together. And he came from the Giants, so he's our new third base coach. The bullpen coach is Mike Harkey, who is also from the Girardi years, knew Girardi very well from the Cubs. And then lastly is the infield coach, Carlos Mendoza. He will be working with all the infielders and to build up their defense. As far as prospects go, listen to this list of the 100 best prospects in all of baseball. Number 6, maybe number 5, is the shortstop, of course, Gleyber Torres, who will probably be our starting second baseman. Number 38 on that list was Esteban Florial, the 5-tool player who has rocketed through the Yankee system. Then number 41, a man I saw pitch in the Arizona Fall League, Justice Sheffield. The guy can throw, and when he was on the mound, he had this presence about him. And the Yankees are very high on this. He's left-handed, and he's a very, very good pitcher. Miguel Andujar, who could take over as third base, he was number 59 on the Major League prospect list, and the third best third base prospect in all of baseball. So what does that tell you? We have some very good players here. Number 77 on the list was Albert Abreu. Now, he has glowing marks coming from all the Yankee coaches. Throws hard. He has a great breaking ball. He might even be up here sometime after July in 2018. And then the last guy is, of course, number 81 on the Major League prospect list, and that's Chance Adams. Chance Adams spent a whole year at AAA. He was their most consistent pitcher. If somebody gets hurt, he'll be the first one called up in 2018. Just missed the list was Domingo Acevedo, and he throws the ball hard. The list goes on and on. I've tried to give you some insight on some of the top players. Now, a couple of side notes. You ever hear of Freddy Schumann? You know, that's the guy we know as Freddy Says. For years, he was at the old stadium and in the opening of the new stadium. Freddy was this inspirational man. I mean, I love the guy. He's my inspiration for doing Yankee Fred. And one thing he always had was this aluminum frying pan with a sign, always positive. Come on, Yanks, keep trying. Come on, Yanks, one more win, that kind of thing. And then he had a spoon, and he would give the spoon to everybody, kids, adults, and you whack the pan. It was kind of weird, but it was kind of good because the fans loved him. And he was there for the opening of the 2009 of the new stadium, and he got to see a World Series. Unfortunately, in 2010, Freddy passed away. But fans, longtime Yankee fans, at least 15 years old or older, they remember Freddy says, just like I do. And my final note is about the great Gene Stick Michael. Gene Michael was everything to the Yankees. I mean, he was a scouting director, a GM, a coach, a manager, of course a Yankee player, but most of all, he had an eye for talent that we all trusted, including Mr. Steinbrenner, Mr. Cashman. If he said this was a good guy, they went with him. And he engineered the deal for Paul O'Neill, for Roberto Kelly. And then guys like Bernie Williams and the core four, all because Gene Michael believed in these guys. And he was right on. He saw talent. There aren't many people like that. Every organization needs a Gene Michael. I think there ought to be a Gene Michael Day. And the ceremony would be really nice for his family. But most of all, does somebody else really deserve a plaque in Monument Park? Of course they do. And it's Gene Michael. He should have a plaque. And I bet you all the players that he touched their lives would be there that day. The new guy coming in is Tim Naring, by the way, who the Yankees think might be Gene Michael's replacement as a good eye for talent. He engineered the deal for Didi Gregorius from the Diamondbacks. So let's hope that Brandon Drury turns out like Didi Gregorius from the Diamondbacks and turns into be a solid major league player for the New York Yankees. Well, that's it for today. The spring training games are right around the corner. In fact, tomorrow is the first game. I bet I won't sleep tonight. I can't wait for the game. And yes, Yankee fans, I got up this morning and I've been pretty good. I go to the gym and my really tough mentor, Rick, he's staying on me, but he's fair. I had homemade pancakes for breakfast. Can't beat that with real maple syrup, And I recorded this broadcast with the help from all the guys down in the production team. Thanks, guys. And Yankee fans, that's a show.